जब भी खराब हो रही है तो आपको वाली स्लाइड है
और मेरा क्या हाल है कम हुआ
4,25,000
डेथ रेट में कमी है, डेथ रेशियो में कमी। सर आ गया
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Well, today the topic will be, this is the sixth lecture of immunology, and that is type 3 and type 4 hypersensitivity reactions, and then we will talk a little about immunological tolerance. What is immunological tolerance? Here it is very clear. This slide has been shown to you already twice. The difference is this is IgE mediated, leading to activation of Th2 cell and causing injury. This type 2 is IgG or IgM related antibodies are involved in this, and they involve complement, leading to either phagocytosis or lysis of cells or inflammation. This third type, or it's also here, it is only IgG mediated. There is no role of IgM in this. And the other name is given immune complex reaction. In fact, immunoglobulin G makes a complex with the antigen. So the difference is immediate type hypersensitivity, cytotoxic reaction, hypersensitivity reaction, immune complex reaction. All these types, these three types, they involve the immunoglobulins, so they are related to the B cells. Whereas the fourth one is T lymphocyte mediated or delayed hypersensitivity, THR, you call it usually. And the cells involved are T cells, and T cells are, I told you, of three types: alpha 1, alpha 2, and cytotoxic cells. We will talk about it also. This type 3. Today is it is type 3 reaction usually. Number one, there are different pathogenic mechanisms which are involved in type 3 hypersensitivity reactions. Number one is, I told you that immunoglobulin G makes a complex with the antigen, and that complex circulates in the blood. Here you can see it. This is a complex of antigen and antibody. These are antigens, these are antibodies, and they make a complex. So immune complex made by the combination of an antigen and a specific antibody. So these complex, they circulate in the blood and they get deposited in the endothelial surface of the blood vessels. So endothelial cell, when they get deposited, they lead to damage of the blood vessels. So the result will be number one, vasculitis. They can also get deposited. These immune complexes can also get deposited. These immune complexes, they can get deposited in the synovium. And when they get deposited in the synovium, that means it leads to arthritis. So vasculitis, arthritis, here is another, the usual deposition is that the glomerular membrane, they can also get involved, and a person leads to nephritis. This type of nephritis is also called autoimmune nephritis or lupus nephritis. So immune system type 3 hypersensitivity, this is one way of pathogenesis. This is one way. So I have given the name A. The pathogenic mechanism involved are of three types. Number one is that they form immune complexes, and these immune complexes, they circulate in the vessels. If they get deposited in the vessels, endothelium of the vessels, they lead to vasculitis. If they get deposited in the synovium, the disease is usually arthritis. Sometimes they get deposited, and myocarditis. Remember, they can get deposited in the glomeruli also, and that can lead to lupus nephritis. There is another, all these three conditions in which the pathogenic mechanism is circulation of immune complexes, and these complexes along with specific complements. So they activate the complement system. The immune complex is made up of antigen, antibodies, and the classical pathway of pump. That complex gets deposited. These are the three conditions. I have given the examples. They all are the type 3 hypersensitivity reactions. So systemic, and they lead to diseases of different systems. Vasculitis, the vessels of the whole body can be involved. I have seen a patient in my life that because of autoimmune vasculitis, the circulating immune complexes in the vessels, endothelial vessels, it will lead to obviously thrombosis. And once the thrombosis is there in the blood vessels, so a lot of body is involved, or many vessels they are involved. So you never know which organ can be affected if the embolism gets detached from the thrombus and can lead to. The patient which I am talking about had an autoimmune disease. He was diagnosed as suffering from autoimmune disease on the basis of nuclear and cytoplasmic reactions, different types of stainings we do in the laboratory. Sometimes a homogeneous staining, or sometimes a speckled staining, or granules of cytoplasm they are stained. So immunocytochemistry, that is called immunocytochemistry. So on the basis of that, the patient was diagnosed as suffering from autoimmune rheumatoid arthritis. The patient was already a case of rheumatoid arthritis and was taking medicines for that. But suddenly, what happened? The patient, just 2 days in 48 hours, he had bleeding from the mouth. You call hemoptysis. Remember, hemoptysis is when blood is seen in the emesis, or it is in the emesis, or you vomit blood. You call metamesis, emesis, anti-emetic drugs. Pharmacology में आपने पढ़ा होगा. So they are the drugs which control the vomit. Hemoptysis is the word which is given when you see blood is coughed out. So the coughed out blood is coming from the respiratory tract, and the hematemesis means blood coming from the GI. So the patient had a vomitus of blood. So that patient, who was a case of rheumatoid arthritis, had vomitus. He was taken to the gastroenterologist. the gastroenterologist could not perform gastroscopy because there was blood in the stomach. He said he can't see anything, whether there are esophageal varices or blood is coming from peptic ulcer or anything. So he could not give any good information to the patient or to the clinician regarding the case, but just after 2 days, the patient went into coma. CT scan of brain was done and it was found that there is a thrombus and there is an embolus, or there is, you call the coma was because of an embolus from the vessels which are supplying the brain. So blood vessels जो brain को supply कर रही थी, उनमें कहीं से थ्रोम्बस से एम्बुलस डिटैच होके आया या वेस्कुलाइटिस वहां पे ही डेवलप हुआ. सो वेस्कुलाइटिस द होल बॉडी, द पेशेंट डज नॉट सर्वाइव इन 24 to 48, maximum 72 hours, and then after another 24 hours the patient passed because all the vessels they had endothelial injury and there were clots at many places. It's a very serious condition that occurs. Remember, autoimmune diseases, we will talk about it in our next session. If a patient has got one autoimmune disease, usually in that patient, sometimes, it is not sometimes, most of the times, वो एक से ज़्यादा autoimmune diseases. So, the patient was of autoimmune rheumatoid arthritis and leading to lupus nephritis, proteinuria, and vasculitis, coma, and death. So these are the systemic effects of type 3 hypersensitivity reactions. So overreaction of immune system is called hypersensitivity. Another type of pathogenesis of type 3 hypersensitivity reaction is seen in cases of serum sickness. What is a serum sickness? In fact, sometimes plasma therapy, passive immunization, is a procedure in which passive means the body has got nothing to do. The body जो है वो किसी दूसरे की prepared antibodies दी जाती हैं. That is called plasma therapy or passive immunization. So जो antibodies which are present in a patient, जिस तरह आजकल कह रहे हैं कोरोना केसेस में the antibodies जब उनमें डेवलप हो जाती हैं, वो antibodies वो प्लाज्मा अगर पेशेंट को दिया जाए तो पेशेंट रिकवर होता है. Research is going on in many corners of the world, and whether it is really helps or not, it can be said at a later stage. Up till now, the answer is yes or no, nothing. It may be or it may not be. So passive immunization means आप एंटीबॉडीज किसी बनी बनाई इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, और अगर किसी पेशेंट की कर रहे हैं तो वो नेचुरल पैसिव इम्यूनाइजेशन प्रोसीजर कहलाता है. आर्टिफिशियल इम्यूनाइजेशन मींस you prepare antibodies in the laboratory. For example, monoclonal antibodies भी आजकल research is going on to prepare monoclonal antibodies against corona in the laboratory on mice. तो वो माइस को इंजेक्ट करते हैं और उसके बाद उसके एंटीबॉडीज जो हैं वो in the form of vaccine develop कर लेते हैं और injection. So that becomes a therapy for the patient. That injection is given to the patient. So that is an artificial way. Similarly, I told you also immunoglobulins जब दी जाती हैं in premature babies. Premature means कि mother से antibodies premature baby में कम जाती. It's the 30 to 40th week of gestation. Most of the time antibodies they pass through placenta to the fetus. लेकिन premature baby में naturally antibodies levels कम होते हैं. They are more exposed to infections, and if you do not give immunoglobulins, there are chances that you may lose the baby. Premature होता है, उसका liver भी premature होता है और उसमें protection या immunity भी कम होती है. So you give injections of immunoglobulin at the time of birth. उसे भी passive immunization कहते हैं, but that is artificial way of inducing passive immunization. तो ये भी एक सीरम सिकनेस क्या है, इसमें हॉर्स जो है उसका सीरम लिया जाता है to treat aplastic anemia or diphtheria. For example, if the child is having, so anti-diphtheria antibodies are given to patients of diphtheria so that they should not go to critical condition. उससे बचाने के लिए यू गिव एंटी थायराइड एंटीबॉडीज। कोरोना की तो अभी अवेलेबल नहीं है, आई विश कि जल्दी से जल्दी अवेलेबल हो जाए, so that immunoglobulin therapy can be started in patient, and once it will be successful, I'm sure the mortality will be reduced to very low. और ये जो खतरा है, इंसान को जो डर है वो उसकी क्रिटिकल कंडीशन की वजह से है, अदरवाइज सब डिजीज ऐसे ही होती। So if the scientists, they are successful in preparing monoclonal antibodies against corona, I am sure that will be available in the form of injections, maybe in future 1 year or 2 years time. And when those injections will be available, आप जब injection लगाएंगे तो patient will not go into critical condition और 2-3 हफ्ते में ठीक हो के घर आ सकता है। So anti-diphtheria antibodies to treat diphtheria is given, and that is from horse serum. Similarly, जो बनाई जाती है thymocyte anti-thymocytic antibodies जिसे कहते हैं, which is usually given to treat aplastic anemia. Aplastic anemia is a disease in which the bone marrow is suppressed. So bone marrow की suppression से all lineage of cells, whether they are erythroid lineage, myeloid lineage or platelets. So चूंकि the bone marrow is replaced by this plastic means fibrous tissue, तो वहाँ पे what happens is there is less number of immature cells. जब immature cell कम होंगे तो mature cells भी कम होंगे. The person will have low red cell count, leukopenia, thrombocytopenia, and the effects due to these low levels of thrombocytes, low levels of leukocytes, and low levels of red cells, anemia. So mostly the patient presents with aplastic anemia. So that means our RBCs, chunki number of RBCs are much more as compared to lymphocyte, and half-life भी ज़्यादा होती है और वो ज़्यादा देर भी रहते हैं और होते भी millions में हैं, as we have read in the subject of physiology. So aplastic anemia में जब anti-thrombocyte antibodies are given, तो वो antibodies आप बाहर से दे रहे हैं और हॉर्स में इंजेक्ट करके हॉर्स के सीरम को लेके प्यूरिफाई करके लेबोरेटरीज में यू प्रिपेयर दैट. But when they are given to patients for the treatment, as I told you, in cases of diphtheria or in cases of aplastic anemia, so what can happen is, you can see over here that this antigen and antibody complex बन गया, वही procedure है, उसने complement 3B and R1 को और complement 3A, 4A and 5A, इन दोनों को तीनों को एक्टिवेट किया, and all complements 3A, 4A, 5A, they will activate the mast cells, and the mast cells will degranulate, leading to release of histamine. और हिस्टामिन क्या करती है? It leads to increased vascular permeability, vasodilation, और उससे क्या होता है, जो एंडोथेलियम के नीचे जो फ्लूइड होता है वो और सेल्स they start leaking into the circulation, and they are chemotactic for neutrophils, और वो neutrophil जो है because of lytic enzymes leads to cell. So this is the pathogenic mechanism. This mechanism is also same, but the complements are different. उस पहले सिस्टम में the immune complex they get deposited in the endothelium of various tissues, whether the vessels or glomeruli or synovium. लेकिन इसमें ये एक्टिवेट करते हैं मास्ट सेल्स को, leading to release of histamine, and histamine leads to accumulation fluid and chemical substances, and complements are activated, और ये neutrophil also becomes an activated neutrophil और activated neutrophil में lysosomes होते हैं, lytic enzymes होते हैं. Those enzymes lead to destruction of the dangerous or disease-causing antibody present in the host serum. लेकिन उस lysis की वजह से और इस सारे phenomenon की वजह से there is the person gets sickness. It's a light disease, कोई इसमें ऐसी critical नहीं होता कभी भी patient, but the patient if given those immunoglobulins which are prepared in the host, the patient can have serum sickness or serum sickness free antigen or free antibodies के ये complex or activation से ये सारी pathogenic mechanisms से what happens is the patient usually gets fever, arthralgia, urticaria, lymph nodes enlargement, and so on. So such sort of symptoms, joint pain हो रही हैं, fever हो गया, arthralgia हो गया, myositis थोड़ा बहुत हो गया, muscular pain हो गई, and articular rashes हो गई, lymph node enlargement हो गई. But one thing is very important that usually these patients they have got protein. Agar if you ask their urine examination, you will see that there is a leakage of protein in the urine from the kidneys. So urine में proteins आना शुरू हो जाती हैं. That condition, if prolonged and persists, can be a little more difficult for the recovery of the person. But usually it's a mild condition unless they just have protein urea. Protein urea is the only thing, otherwise arthralgia, urticaria, fever and all that lymph node enlargement, they subside with passage of time after a few days. So this is another example of serum sickness or pathogenicity. The second pathogenic mechanism as P is like this. So the first was the complex getting deposited in the along with complements in the endothelium. The second was activation of mast cells, and the example is serum sickness. And the third is that these, as this is already shown to you, that fluid serum protein and polymorphonuclear leukocyte are, or ये polymorphonuclear recruitment, यहाँ पिछली slide में भी था, वो leads to lysolytic enzymes or lytic enzymes. Say what happens is there is a tissue injury or cell injury. So this was the effects of some certain diseases of type 3 hypersensitivity reactions. Another one is called Arthus reaction. Arthus reaction क्या होता है? ये usually जब आप वैक्सीन करते हैं किसी पेशेंट को, you are introducing antigen. Those antigen you can call them immunogens because there is immunogenic challenges there, but pathological challenges not there. It does not produce any pathogenicity, but these antigens are immunogenic. They can stimulate the antibody synthesis, और वो antibodies जब होती बनती हैं, they make complexes stimulating 3B, complement 3B, and so वो complements दोबारा directly भी they can lead to activation of neutrophils or polymorphonuclear leukocytes, और वो nucleosides by lytic enzymes will lead to cell injury. या जैसा प्रोसीजर पिछले स्लाइड में था that they activate C3A, 4A, 5A, leading to activation of mast cells and degranulation of mast cells. Cytoplasm में जो granules होते हैं वो they are degranulated और they lead to release of histamine, और histamine जब endothelial surface के ऊपर act करती है, there are receptors for that. What happens is it leads to the same process, increased vascular permeability and vasodilation, and और उसकी वजह से the fluid and the neutrophils they leak out into the extracellular spaces, और वहाँ पे again neutrophil activate हो जाते हैं leading to tissue damage. So sometimes when you vaccinate a person, the person may come up to you with बजाय इसके कि जहां से आपने वैक्सीनेट किया है उस साइट ऑफ इंजेक्शन पे देयर विल बी सेल इंजरी एंड इवन द नेक्रोसिस. तो द एरिया जो है नेक्रोटिक एरिया और डैमेज एरिया अल्सरेशन will be there, so there is nothing to worry. That is called arthritis reaction, and that is again because of this type 3 hypersensitivity reaction. So that is a local immune complex disease. So arthritis reaction में जो कुछ भी हुआ है वो ultimately जहाँ पे इंजेक्शन लगाया है वहाँ पे the patient comes with the necrosis, hemorrhages, edema, ulceration, and if that there is an ulcer, little hemorrhage, edema, or necrosis, necrotic material, well, you treat that, the patient will be recovered in a few days' time. It's a local type 3 immune complex type 3 hypersensitivity reaction. So this was all. Yes, this slide is a good slide. If you just see at least इतना तो आपको याद होना चाहिए कि type 1 में there is आम तौर पे immunoglobulin E is involved, whereas in type 2 it is immunoglobulin G or IgM. यहाँ पे नहीं लिखा हुआ but IgE is involved in type 1, IgG or IgM. और मैंने एग्जाम्पल जो आपको IgM की दी थी that was acquired hemolytic anemia. Otherwise, most of the time it is immunoglobulin G which is involved in type 2 hypersensitivity reaction. In type 3 it is only IgG, no other. ये भी soluble antigen है, ये भी soluble antigen है, ये immunoglobulin G और M they are associated. We talked about it yesterday that they are associated with the membrane of the cell or extracellular matrix. तो इसमें ये होता है जैसे कल मैंने बताया था ABO incompatibility में, RH incompatibility में, तो red cell surface they have got the antigen on their surface. इसी तरह जरूरी नहीं है ड्रग के लिए भी रिसेप्टर्स हो सकते हैं, and sometimes there are receptors or thyroid stimulating hormones वो इनहिबिट स्टिमुलेट हो जाता है, जैसे ग्रेव्स डिजीज हो जाती है या हाइपरथायराइडिज्म हो जाता है. समटाइम्स दे इनहिबिट द रिसेप्टर्स प्रेजेंट ऑन द सेल सरफेस. तो यहाँ पे जो IgG है उसमें एंटीजन कहाँ पे होता है, ये सॉल्युबल एंटीजन है प्रेजेंट इन द सर्कुलेशन, ये भी सॉल्युबल एंटीजन है प्रेजेंट इन द सर्कुलेशन. ये एंटीजन ऑल इज अटैच्ड टू द सेल मेम्ब्रेन और इट इज एसोसिएटेड विद मैट्रिक्स. इसमें रिमेंबर ये कुछ चंद चीजें हैं जो आपको टिप्स होनी चाहिए कि कौन सी इम्यूनोग्लोबुलिन इसमें इन्वॉल्व होती है. इज इट अ सॉल्युबल और अटैच्ड टू अ सेल? इट्स अ सॉल्युबल. व्हिच सेल इज यूजुअली एक्टिवेटेड? इट्स मास्ट सेल. मास्ट सेल के एक्टिवेशन से जो डीग्रैनुलेशन ग्रैन्यूल्स होते हैं दे रिलीज केमिकल मीडिएटर्स, हिस्टामिन्स और अदर एज आई शोड यू द लास्ट टाइम, प्राइमरी chemical mediators and secondary chemical mediators. So those mediators, they have got their own clinical effects. You should also know some examples of, as I showed you as slide, different pictures. That is rhinitis, asthma, systemic anaphylaxis, and food allergy or sometimes like that. But here in type 2, we talked about that usually there is phagocytosis, and here the complement joins and leads to cell injury. तो ये इम्यून चूंकि फेगोसाइटोसिस है और फेगोसाइटोस सेल करने वाले कौन से होते हैं? दे आर न्यूट्रोफिल्स, मैक्रोफेजेस. मैक्रोफेजेस आर द डेरिवेटिव सेल्स ऑफ मोनोसाइट्स. सो एंड आई आल्सो शोड यू किन किन कंडीशन में होता है और कौन कौन सी कंडीशन है यस्टरडे. तो वो ABO इनकम्पैटिबिलिटी हो, RH इनकम्पैटिबिलिटी हो, एक्वायर्ड हेमोलिटिक एनीमिया हो या और दूसरी कंडीशंस जो कल बताई गई थी और आज भी चले रिपीट कर देता हूँ, गुड पैस्टर सिंड्रोम हो या दिस एज आई जस्ट एन्यूमरेटेड ग्रेव्स डिजीज हो, मायस्थीनिया ग्रेविस हो, इनहिबिट करता है वो रिसेप्टर्स पे बाइंडिंग होने के बाद, वो स्टिमुलेटिंग है तो ग्रेव्स डिजीज है. हाइपरथायराइडिज्म है, अगर इनहिबिटिंग है तो इट इनहिबिट्स द एक्शन ऑफ एसिटाइल कोलिन लीडिंग टू मायस्थीनिया ग्रेविस. ये अभी हमने बात की थी. So all these are antibody mediated hypersensitivity reaction. तो इन तीनों में ये फर्क जो है वो आप अभी देख सकते हैं कि immune complex either they get deposited in the blood vessels या they stimulate or activate the mast cells leading to lysis. So examples are जो systemic examples थी वो हमने बता दी थी, that is vasculitis, arthritis, myocarditis, and serum sickness, whereas local is arthritis. So these are the three types of antibody hypersensitivity reactions which are antibody related. The type 4 hypersensitivity reactions, they are, इसमें आप देखें सबसे पहला काम है sensitization. The second thing is sensitized cells जो हैं वो जब when they come across the antigen or antibody, they will lead to lysis. तो एक T cells होते हैं, there are three types of T cells. So this is a cell mediated immunity. इसका ताल्लुक T cells से है. ये जो ऊपर की तीन टाइप 1, टाइप 2 एंड टाइप 3 एंटीबॉडीज, इनका ताल्लुक बी सेल से. So these both are lymphocytes, but B cells, I told you also that there is a lot of clonal diversity. तो जब in utero, जब बच्चा is there in the development stage, तो बोन मैरो के अंदर एंटीजेंस जाते हैं तो वो डिफरेंट क्लोन्स ऑफ लिम्फोसाइट्स को करते हैं. सारे लिम्फोसाइट्स एक ही डिजीज को डील नहीं करते. तो देयर आर क्लोन्स ऑफ डिफरेंट लिम्फोसाइट्स और दैट इज कॉल्ड क्लोनल डाइवर्सिटी. लेकिन अब यहाँ पे उसकी बात इस वक्त नहीं कर रहे. वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट द टी सेल्स और टी लिम्फोसाइट्स आर whether they are helper 1, helper 17 or helper 2 and cytotoxic lymphocytes. ये जो है helper से मतलब ये है कि they help in the pathogenic mechanism. Cytotoxic का मतलब they directly are toxic to the cell that they can lead to lysis of the cell. Cytotoxic lymphocytes, ये वो lymphocytes हैं जो ऐसे substances release करते हैं जिससे there is a lysis of cell direct. So CTL, CD8 भी कहते हैं, TH1, TH2 इन्हें CD4 भी कहते हैं. So they lead to tissue injury. And the examples, तो चूंकि ये T cells ये are sensitized, the examples are contact dermatitis, tuberculosis, and transplant. We will talk about transplantation and grafting also, maybe tomorrow. So the sensitization mechanism of sensitization and effective mechanism. So ये macrophage है, ये helper cell और इसकी so macrophages और APCs, you can say antigen presenting cells, उनके अंदर they engulf the bacteria. Engulfment of bacteria by the antigen presenting cells. We talked about APCs. One of the example is macrophage. तो वो जब लेके जाते हैं helper T cell के पास तो वो activate हो जाता है. That helper cell extrudes major histocompatibility complex molecules or MHC molecules of class class 2. Class 1 is for plasma cells. So helper cells जो हैं वो macrophages, helper 1 cells, they are activated. और ये APC यहाँ पे macrophage दिखाया गया है, which has engulfed bacteria. इसने ये bacteria is an antigen, you can call it. It is a foreign body. It is a pathogenic. It's the microbe. तो ये engulfment से activation हुई, ये लेके गया. As I told you, APCs presenting cells, they also play the role of logistics delivery. So transport का काम भी करते हैं. They take the bacteria in their cytoplasm to the helper cells, helper T cells. तो ये helper T cells और helper 1 cells, मैक्रोफेजेस का ताल्लुक helper 1 से, ये MHC molecules exclude करते हैं अपने ऊपर, those are called class 2 MHC molecules. अब वो MHC molecules and the mediators released by the activated macrophages, what happens is it will lead to activation of this delayed type hypersensitivity cell or TH1 cell. So TH1 cell को आप delayed type or hypersensitivity cell भी कह सकते हैं. This is a sensitization phase. So initially there is firstly जैसे type 1 में था, there is sensitization. अब second time what happens is the same phenomena occurs. अब ये it causes release of tissue necrosing factor beta or interferon gamma. So these are the mediators which are released by this joint helper cell and macrophage activation. So leading to activation of macrophage, and you know this is a resting macrophage, which is you can call a sensitized resting macrophage. Complex. So effective phase में the resting macrophage which already is sensitized, when it comes across with TH1 cells, there is a release of interferons, interleukins, tissue necrosing factor, leading to again another, it will activate the second macrophage, और वो activated macrophage will help in the phagocytosis, और वो कैसे, either to producing oxygen radicals or nitrous oxide. So these are the two substances which are toxic to the cell. So there is a cell lysis. So remember, in type 4 hypersensitivity reaction, there is one is a sensitization phase, the other is effective phase, effector phase. Or in दोनों phases में what happens is the final result is the activation of macrophages leading to release of tissue necrosing factor, oxygen radicals, nitric oxide. So इससे क्या होगा? This will lead to lysis of cells, ulceration, and so the examples are usually dermatitis. So in cell-mediated type 4 hypersensitivity reactions, these lead to dermatitis. You can see dermatitis because of this. ये चप्पल पहनने से you can see this like very beautiful picture. Dermatitis of hands. आजकल जो gloves पहनते हैं, surgical gloves, वो PPE जो for treating corona for doctors, that surgical gloves, because mostly a double layer surgical gloves. But for patients, usually they are not recommended because there are many cases have been reported in different corners of the world that जो patients use कर रहे थे gloves, उनमें dermatitis हो. Although it's not a serious disease, but obviously patient becomes, sometimes there is even ulceration. So जरा वैसे मुश्किल हो जाता है. See, it creates and it increases the agony of the patient. So एक और भी है, that is the tuberculin test. I'm sure you know it. This is a negative reaction. This is a positive reaction. You give an injection of purified protein derivative of Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So Mycobacterium tuberculosis is a bacteria. उसे purify करने के बाद, what you do is you prepare a purified protein derivative which is immunogenic. It can initiate the immune complex mechanism, but it is not pathogen. तो जब आप इसका इंजेक्शन देते हैं तो आम तौर पे ये this is shown over here. Sometimes deltoid में आम तौर पे देते हैं बच्चों में when the baby is born. So this is sensitization. तो ये sensitization is called tuberculin test, और वो आप usually at the site of injection you will find a wheal formation, ulcer, inflammation, and necrosis, which heals after a few days, but उसका निशान रहता है अक्सर throughout the world. So that is again another example of type 4 hypersensitivity reaction. So contact dermatitis, this tuberculin test in the laboratory, and another example is formation of granuloma in tuberculosis. अब ये pathogenic mechanism which is involving the respiratory system, इसमें वही तरीका वही बात है कि antigen or antigen presenting cell will take it to helper cell, leading to release of interferon or interleukin 2, or leading to activation of macrophages, or वो activated macrophages they lead to cell injury. जब injury होती है वहाँ fibrous tissue आ जाता है, fibroblast formation is there, or macrophages, when more macrophages they join, they lead to formation of epithelial cell. So I'm sure you remember the morphology of a granuloma. That it's very important, usually asked in the examination, either in the theory or sometimes the bio. So एक condition type 4 hypersensitivity की एक example is granuloma formation. Not necessarily granuloma formation in the lungs. If it is in the lungs because of mycobacterium, you called it caseating type of granuloma, or this description morphology वही है. ग्रैनुलोमा सार्कोइडोसिस का भी हो सकता है, ग्रैनुलोमा लेप्रोसी में भी हो सकता है. सो लेप्रोसी में माइकोबैक्टीरियम लेप्री है. सो एंटीजन पे डिपेंड करता है ओके वो कहाँ पे जाके ग्रैनुलोमा बनाना है. तो इन दिस केस देयर इज ग्रैनुलोमेटस फॉर्मेशन इन द लंग्स. So these are the examples of type 4 hypersensitivity. By that we close the discussion of the sharing of knowledge of type 1. I won't call sharing because this is online lecture, which sharing is not there. But had it been a live lecture, I'm sure I could have involved you as well in with some answers and questions and answers. So type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. This was hypersensitivity reaction. So immune system का एक component है normal immune response, दूसरा component है overreactive or exaggerated response of immune system. You call it hypersensitivity reaction. लेकिन before we go on to, इसमें आप देख सकते हैं कि type 4 में TH1 helper cell, 2 helper cell, cytotoxic cells, ये मैंने पहले भी बताया था. इनमें सेलुलर सोलुबल एंटीजन होती है, इसमें सेल एसोसिएटेड होगा, सीधा सेल के ऊपर एंटीजन सेल एसोसिएटेड होता है, एंटीबॉडीज ज्वाइन करती हैं और सेल की साइटोटॉक्सिसिटी होती है, लाइसिस होता है, एंड दिस इज सीन इन डर्माटाइटिस. हेल्पर 1 का ताल्लुक मैक्रोफेजेस से है, हेल्पर 2 का ताल्लुक इज विद eosinophil activation, acute inflammation, और ये सेल मीडिएटेड है. चूंकि हेल्पर 1 जब स्टिमुलेट होते हैं तो इंटरफेरॉन, और जब ये हेल्पर 2 एक्टिवेट होते हैं तो देयर इज इंटरल्यूकिन 4, 5 और यूटैक्सिन. दिस लीड्स टू रिलीज ऑफ कीमोकाइंस, दिस रिलीज टू साइटोकाइंस. इसमें इन्फ्लेमेटरी प्रोसेस होता है. व्हाट हैपेंस इज these are the diseases. Contact dermatitis, local disease, and I told you tuberculin test, that is also local. I told you respiratory granulomatous, not written over here, but asthma, chronic asthma. Type 1 is acute asthma. IgE mediated asthma is always acute, but chronic asthma and chronic allergic rhinitis, if you seen, it is usually sensitive instead of IgE mediated. ये सारों का इकट्ठा किया हुआ है. टाइप 1 IgE, IgG, IgM, ये आप यहाँ लिख लें IgG, और टाइप 4 में हेल्पर 1, हेल्पर 2 सेल्स, CTL, और ये सॉल्युबल, ये सब पहले पढ़ चुके हैं हम एंटीजन. और ये करते क्या है, ये मास्ट सेल्स को करते हैं, ये फेगोसाइटोसिस, ये कॉम्प्लीमेंट एक्टिवेशन, एंड दिस इज अगेन मैक्रोफेजेस. हेल्पर 2 इज रिलेशनशिप विद eosinophil, degranulation of eosinophil leading to release of cytotoxins and inflammatory mediators. ये मास्ट सेल्स है, इंटरफेरॉन रिलीज करता है, और इसमें डायरेक्ट साइटोटॉक्सिसिटी है. ये एग्जांपल्स जो पीछे लिख दिए हैं वो भी. So what is an immunological tolerance? देखें, there are millions of proteins in the body. The question is why a person does not have reaction to those millions of proteins that are circulating in the body. प्रॉब्लम ये है कि सोचना है कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन नॉर्मल इम्यून रिस्पॉन्स एंड अ टॉलरेंट इम्यून रिस्पॉन्स. आई थिंक इट्स टाइम इज 10:05. So we will start with immunological tolerance and autoimmunity tomorrow. Thank you very much. कोई बात नहीं, पता क्या है, लेक्चर होता है ना तो वो 5 मिनट का ही जाता है. जब सामने क्लास होती है तो उसकी स्पीड बड़ा ज्यादा होती है, बच्चों में नोट्स कर लेते हैं ये